stuff got drafted a little bit. Got what bit? AV was home, so the thing got dropped, so I said to Rob, you and Ian, get on it, whatever it takes, let's get it done.
We need a proposal and we need to
get it done.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Next year I'm sitting in the
Yep.
front row. Tables up. You've got somewhere to put your stuff.
White Subaru. Yes, it is on the agenda. It is.
You're supposed to be my seat here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, where's Gary?
He was here. For those who are here who have the package, there's an insert that actually has the agenda at the front page.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you want to separate that out from your package, that might help you follow along with the flow of the day, the flow of the meeting.
Inside?
Pardon me? There's an insert. If you've got only the one from Tuesday, you don't have it. There it is. Okay.
Okay, let me just ask you a quick question.
No, it's just a drive. And I'm only, like I'm projecting my voice, so it's.
However you want to do it. The slide is pretty generic. I don't think she's going to like me because we're going to try even better.
Oh,
Even better.
it's
Okay, I know there's power.
Connemara.
I can't see it because you're going to want to step over like to the side.
It's from Ireland. It's Connemara marble.
On? Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you want,
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for today, June. Thanks for today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, and for being here. What I should have thanked you at the front there.
Well, no. Thank you. I love these. Let's do that.
yep.
Just mindful of the tail. Do you chair this meeting? Do you chair this meeting?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Selena's
I got it. Very here.
she doesn't want
You can
these.
fill in and then.
We're gonna do that in a minute. Perfect. Yeah, when you sit down, we'll do it.
You're the best.
Yeah. No, there's nothing to, we've just been, through circumstances. We had Kevin had COVID in his last Vestry, right? So we did it on our own here.
I feel good.
Jordan was like friends.
Sorry about that.
He doesn't know how to run a Vestry. He was like his.
Here, put it right here. You want to sit it down because you got to climb around.
Second official Sunday here.
Good job. Good job.
You know, so we had that too.
I'm not going to be able to see on the picture. Oh no, we're going to stand up.
We're going to move when it's picture time.
Yeah. You guys have pictures.
And we're gonna move the HDMI cable when the picture is done. I just have to have a bit of a prayer pause or something.
Right to sit here and everybody. Yeah, oh, really?
We got to do something.
So.
There's my mystery areas.
So you guys all ready?
Endowment fund. Welcome our new priests. Give thanks to. That's all I said?
Yeah.
And then there's a slide.
Okay.
And up the top, and then
And then what's after that?
the end. Yep, the nominations to the Parish Council. Gotta make sure all my websites. I told her not to order any keep them. And
They announced that it's cinema retired all this. Yeah, yeah, right.
I mean, I wrote before dying.
No,
But-
but I think it's a good idea.
Are you doing an attendance sheet at all?
Well, Peter's got that in hand.
Oh, I thought you wanted
Thank you.
to autograph my thing. That's why you stood up here.
I mean, I will if you like. Priceless someday.
Autographs.
I go for comments for what needs to be done in the time we're gonna be there. I think
There's some great photos. They're not put this together. We have sent some photos. Where's Rob? I'm gonna call you. You've got the volume thing there. I just want to make sure the volume's like loud enough.
This one?
We had it like when we tried it last night. It was like at 60. So we can just adjust it as we go. It's at 89. It's at 89. That's some flowers. But mine too. There's a lot of people in here. Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
That. I know, exactly. Oh, now that I say that, I'm
Pen?
oh, wait, I thought I had, hang on. Oh, wait.
Oh, it's even multicolored.
Do not flip it. Do not walk away.
Company's right.
They're my favorite pens. Aren't they great? Oh, they are. So are we going to oh, okay, got it. Yep. We're starting with that and then the video?
Call to order, appointment of Vestry, adoption of agenda, adoption of minutes,
Holy, it's way
year in
there.
review.
Oh, and that's the slideshow. Oh my gosh.
I actually haven't looked at the minutes. I think she just finished it.
I am retired. But I could ask for, I just wanted to change this. But, it's my third church since I retired. In a year.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
There's a couple of documents you should have. They're both enclosed within the annual Vestry report 2025, and there's addendums that go with it. To make sure you have all those. If you don't, put up your hand, and we have spare copies here, or if you'd like a copy. It's a narrative budget that Pauline has put a great deal of effort into, so it's maybe something more to read than the past reports that we normally would give out. So if you'd like a copy, there's plenty to go around.
Anyone? Okay.
Okay. Thanks to June Huff. June Huff, as I think she said this morning, is our interim for our interim period until we get to the 1st of April with the starting of Rob Henderson. So June will be chairing our meeting today. Thank you, June.
You're welcome. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Sorry, just one second. Almighty God, watchful and caring, our source and our end, all that we are and all that we have are yours. Accept us now as we give thanks to you for this place of St. Aidan's, where we have come to praise your name, to ask your forgiveness, to know your healing power, and to hear your word and to be nourished by the body and blood of your Son. be present always, especially in this meeting, to guide and to judge, to illumine and to bless your people. This we pray in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
So you have the agenda before you. I guess the first item on the agenda is the appointment of the vestry clerk. And is there a nomination for that? Except, you probably accepted it already.
Selena has no choice.
Selena has accepted the appointment as vestry clerk, so we give thanks for that. That's not an easy job by any means, so thank you. You have the agenda before you. Could I have a motion to accept the agenda? You guys are keeping track
Rob
of people.
Henderson.
You're going to have to,
Sorry, Stevenson.
like, you got it in your head.
Second is Wendy. Sorry, Peter's going to feed the names to Selena. Great.
All right.
That's better.
Any adjustments to the agenda? All right, all those who are in favor of accepting the agenda as appointed, hands up. Opposed? Abstentions? Good. We'd hate to do that all over again, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's okay. The minutes of the 2024 vestry meeting. Can I have a motion to adopt those? Morgan. And the seconder we already have. Any errors or omissions in those? All those in favor of adopting them? Opposed? I'm going to say that's carried.
I'm going to put on the slideshow, and I just, I want to thank our digital deacon. He has some creative flair that he put into this and was a really big help when we were working on this for the last few weeks or so. So I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to just, yeah. So I'm just going to get it started, and then we'll move it. So it's the volume calling. Do you want to just in case, yeah. Yeah. So here, I'm going to smooth this. And how am I getting on?
Back in the box.
Nicer weather.
Oh, that's a good one, David.
That was quite a year. You're going to have a good one ahead too as well, I understand, with your appointments coming in and the beginning of April, I believe. It's an exciting time for you guys, very exciting. All right, we have a narrative budget.
And I have a presentation.
Oh, you have a presentation
I do.
of the narrative budget?
I do.
Yes. So, can I have a motion to adopt the sacred story?
I'm gonna just have a little thing to say
Oh, go,
first.
you do that.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Does anyone need a copy? Just one last call. We do have extras.
You need the mic for the.
Can you hear me? I'll speak up and enunciate well here. So we have a tradition of telling our story with a presentation of photos, which we've all just enjoyed. Thank you very much, Donna and family, and everyone who contributed photos. So continue to take photos, and we'll have that for next year. A narrative budget is an extension of this tradition by sharing our sacred story with highlights from the many ministry areas that our community is involved in. All of this work is supported by the community of St. Aidan's, including the paid staff and the work into the property upkeep. About 20 people were asked to complete a short report describing what they do and how it impacts lives. I used excerpts from these responses in the report that you have. Volunteer hours were tabulated to get a picture of the time that is devoted. The tally came to 7,122 hours. It's likely underreported, considering that I asked people to estimate what their commitment was over the year back. So likely some time has been forgotten or not remembered. But this, when you do the math, is equivalent to 4 full-time staff. Later in that, we will continue to have a line budget, even though this is the first try at a narrative budget. After several people had said it might be a good idea, so I took the time in January and February to put that together. Later in the meeting, we will review the line budget, and we will continue to have a line budget, and we will continue to monitor those incomes and expenses with parish council. But the beauty of the narrative budget is that it's the story behind the expenses that is highlighted. Does anyone recognize our Celtic tree? One day I was sitting in church, maybe just meditating on the tree, and I was inspired. I felt like a symbol of our sacred story. The trunk is what gives the tree stability. This is care for our property, building. We have a strong sense that St. Aidan's Church is more than the building, though. But I see the building and the property as kind of that trunk of the tree. The roots representing our grounding in faith and our ongoing support in parish leadership, and the tree foliage as a symbol of some major ministry areas. These are the ministry areas that bubbled up to me based on a lot of examples of narrative budgets I was able to find. And in the report, you will see a page highlighting each of these ministry areas. And this came from the responses I received from the report. And what was great about that report was I asked people to think about what they're looking forward to in 2025. And as I said, it was only a small sampling of the community, but I was able to capture a vision going forward for each of these ministry areas. And I think it will help us focus for the new year. Really, what we do matters. Dozens of people in our parish quietly take care of things. A narrative budget aims to tell the story of the impact of each of these ministries. And I did reach out to a few people to see if they would be willing to share a short statement on how their involvement in this ministry enhances their lives or the life they serve. I have a list here. If someone has something that they would like to share that's not on the list, great. I have Cheryl on first, who would willing to offer something for the choir.
I have a plaque in my home that says, "Music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life," and I believe that very much to be true. David teaches us so much more than just the notes, but to look at the words and how to interpret them, and how to use the words and the music together to bring the message of that piece. And we challenge ourselves personally and together to do our very best each Sunday with that. Our choir is very small, but our commitment and our camaraderie is great. They are a wonderful group to work with. So any of you out there who are interested in the church music, please think about coming and joining us. We would love to have our ranks swell, and we can do so much more with more people. Yeah. So please contact David or any member of the choir with any questions that you have, and come and join us.
Thank you. Nancy, if you would.
Good morning. I have been asked to speak about Aidan morning prayer and the Education for Ministry program. Since COVID took over our lives, the usual service that was taking place midweek here in the church went online, and Kevin started to use the Aidan morning prayer service. After COVID, it could well have come back to church. However, we now have people that are joining in with Aidan morning prayer from outside St. Aidan's, in fact from Manitoba, from Toronto, from British Columbia, and from other communities here in London. We meet on Thursdays at 10 in the morning, and the service lasts for about 45 to 60 minutes. It's a small group. Meeting regularly, it builds community. And we have become a group that cares more intimately, I think, for each other as we come to know each other's concerns and issues. As the Aidan community often does, this is a lay-led service, and when Kevin left, because I'm the trustee of the Aidan community, or a trustee, and the Canadian representative for the Aidan community, I was asked to take it over. We are using the Iona prayer book, Iona music, and the Iona prayer cycle of concerns. If you would like to join us on Thursday mornings, please let Selena know, or myself, and we would be sure to get a link for you and have you come and join us. As for Education for Ministry, in 1985, through the Diocese of Kootenay, Canada joined with the American leaders of the Education for Ministry, or EFM program. It had been running for quite a while here in the diocese when Kevin brought it to St. Aidan's in 2014. And many parishioners here have taken the 4-year EFM program. And I must say, in a church that is highly used to EFM, there is a difference in the discussion in the congregation. I know Jordan was often saying that he would get different questions after his sermons because people had taken EFM and were more deeply involved with Scripture. Again, EFM is primarily lay-led. There are 2 programs here in London, one at St. Jude's. It goes in the daytime, and it is led by Libby Clifford from St. James, Westminster. Our program now runs in the evenings on Thursdays, and I have started facilitating it since Kevin left. The EFM students work over 4 years. They study Hebrew Scriptures, the New Testament and church history, as well as ethics, liturgics, and theological issues. There are 2 interlude books each year with EFM, and they cover provocative topics. Last year, we read a book called Beyond a Binary God, How to Become a Trans Ally. And we also read the classic book, The Cross and the Lynching Tree. I was hoping this year to have the congregation involved with us, with our book studies, with our interlude books. And I think that will probably happen next year. I just read the interlude book for this spring. It's a bit of a snooze fest. I don't know that you guys really want this. But anyways, EFM is a small group. We meet weekly. It's like a one-room schoolhouse. All 4 years meet together. And those sessions, we share our faith journeys and reflect on issues from our daily lives and our studies. I often take us also off into Christian art history as well. We sometimes have visiting speakers, and my dream is that we will annually have a visit to a different place of worship so that we can look at, as the last book that we read is called My Neighbor's Faith, so that we can also explore our neighbor's faith and come to a deeper understanding of different faith expressions. It's a 35-week course. It starts in September and ends the beginning of June. It's highly intensive reading, no tests, no papers, no exams. Don't worry about that. But with reading and discussion, community is built. And sometimes we also come together and share a meal. If you're interested in joining us this fall, we have about 4 or 5 spots that we would love for you to fill. Come and speak to me if you would like to join us in the fall, and we can get you signed up. I'm hoping to have an information session later on in the spring for people who have more questions about EFM. Thanks.
Thank you, Nancy. I'll ask Pat to come forward. He has several things on the go here.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm here primarily to speak about the greenhouses, which are pretty much under snow right now. This was the 4th year that we've been growing food in the greenhouse for the London Northwest Resource Centre, which is at Sherwood Forest Mall, which has a food bank there. And when it was initially set up, our parish was identified to supply food through that food bank, which we have done over the year, as well as when there's a small amount, we take it to the Byron food bank. Challenges over the years have come and gone, and we got rid of one large challenge this year, which you probably saw on the video, where Barney and Howard built some nice gates across So we don't have the large animals getting in. We still have some smaller ones which like to nibble off the nice green shoots. But watering has been an issue over the years, and we've got some totes there, and we have a bit of an irrigation system, but it doesn't do the job thoroughly, so we're looking at that. Having done this for 4 years, the soil which we put in initially is getting a little depleted in spite of regular composting on top, so we're looking at what that might require this year. Now is the time. I've got people volunteering to start seedlings, and if you like to get your hands dirty, you can either do seedlings or you can come and help us out when it becomes planting time, which is much sooner in the greenhouses. It's amazing how warm they get as soon as the sun hits on them. The people, it gives me great joy to be able to grow things, to watch a tiny little seed grow into tomato plants that we had reaching up to the ceiling, 12 feet within the greenhouses, and then the fruit that comes on those. It's like the tree there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So strong roots, a trunk, and then amazing flowers and the fruit that comes with it. And then the joy also comes when you take it to the resource center, and if there's clients there, they get so excited about seeing fresh fruit, mainly vegetables. We all know how expensive those things are, and all the people that attend there are unable to afford that. And the staff over there are so pleased to accept the gifts, and it just brings great joy that we can provide that service into the community for those who are less fortunate than us. So, and I've had great help, and I'm looking for more help all the time. It's a small community, but it's a community that grows.
Good job, Pat. Good job.
And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. And I'll just call on one more. I know there were a couple others that were on deck. Michael, if you would speak about your participation in the community meal service that we have.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Pat talked about joy, and Nancy talked about community. I came to this community 2.5 years ago, and I think it's the joyful community that really attracted me. Community is found in many different areas, and to be involved in the program Pat coordinated for over 20 years, and that Colleen has picked up on now. Down at St. John the Evangelist, we're there about 4 times a year, Colleen.
Yep.
And there's a large contingent from this parish, but there are also community people who are there serving as well. And primarily, the community that we serve as guests, I think they travel together as a community much of the time, because many of the folks that we're serving are either homeless or are in need of want, depending on the time of the month. It's busier towards the end of the month because finances are gone, and people are hungry. And so it's a joyful community to serve. People come and we kibitz, and you get to know folks, and you get to interact, and you get to serve. And many of the things that we do, there's a lot of coordination as well that goes on. So it's the food that is served is prepared by a number of cook teams from St. John, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They must have 3 or 4 anyway, because they're serving food. They prepare food on Fridays, and then they serve every Saturday. And so they're a busy crew. Those of us from the community who come in to help with that program come in on a Saturday afternoon, usually around 2 o'clock, and we're there until 6:30 maybe, if there's a lot of cleanup to do. Inevitably, all of the food is gone. Sometimes there are latecomers and they get the scraps, which tends to be bread that is supplied from the community. And there's always lots of takeaway bread and buns and that kind of stuff. We serve a sit-down meal, so often I'm greeting people as they're coming, and in the nice weather, I love to be out there and go outside, and as people are lined up waiting for the doors to open. During the colder weather, of course, they come in and are seated. But the question I'll often ask is, are you dining in or are you taking out? And it's kind of an even split. There can be anywhere from 65 to 75, 80, maybe even 90 people that we serve who will sit down for a meal, and then there may be another 75 who will take away. The need is great, and this community is very generous in what we offer to a needy community. But we're also a needy community, and I just want to share a little story I think that encapsulates kind of what I see and what I've experienced in being part of this community outreach program. Excuse me. And June reiterated from the liturgy this morning about it's good to give thanks. Right? This is a thankful community. That community that we serve, which is part of the greater community, is a thankful community as well. And it's always so encouraging to see and hear the guests, thank us as they're leaving. But before Christmas, it's probably about a month before Christmas, I was washing, or not washing dishes because there's a dishwasher, but scraping plates, and I think it was John and I who were doing that, and it was really, really busy because it was the end of the month and there were more plates. And as soon as dinner was over, I met this really interesting woman who I had no idea who she was and where she came from. I hadn't even noticed her being a guest. And as soon as she had eaten, she jumped up and she came over and she grabbed a spatula and she's scraping plates and she's just so happy. And she said to me, "Do you understand me? Do you understand me?" In her broken English. And I said, "Yes, I understand what you're saying." And she said, "Praise Jesus!" And so that was the beginning of this conversation, because we were working side by side. There were two of us who were assigned to this station, and Magdalena who jumped in, and she was doing literally as much work as John and I were doing by herself. And she was just running into the kitchen and emptying the dirty water and bringing more water and fresh water, and just a joy to be around. And it just made me think of, that's what we're intended to do. We're intended to serve joyfully. And that's something that I've learned from that community. There's a lot of joy, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. So I'm just grateful to Colleen for her leadership and to those within the community who serve in so many different ways. And I'm grateful that I got a chance to make a new friend. And lived in a refugee camp for 5 years with her husband, and she has 2 young children, so I'm guessing they were probably born while she was there. And yet she came to Canada, came to this community, and she said, praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much for those words. So the last few pages of the Vestry report is really a long list based on the ministry areas of all the different places you can get involved in the life of the parish. And many people are involved in the life of the parish, dozens and dozens of people. So many are looking for help. If you think you have a gift to share in one of those, or are curious about it, or not sure if you can do it, but would like to learn, inquire with Selena, and she will connect you with the right people and the right information. So now I move to adopt the 2025 annual Vestry report titled Our Sacred Story, as approved by Parish Council. Do I have a seconder? Whoever you wish. Open to discussion and questions? Sorry, Heather?
I love this new format. Love, love, love it. So thank you for all your hard work, Colleen. Please consider doing it again. There may be some tweaks based on other input, but I love the way I can see things at a glance, and especially where to share your gifts. All the things that we're doing within our community. Mm-hmm. So thank you.
Thanks. Seeing no other questions?
Go ahead.
Could you, or what?
Show of hands.
Show of hands? Approving? Opposed?
Carried.
Thank you. Now we go to the line budget. I do have some highlights. The first document is the balance sheet. That's a snapshot of our assets at the 31st of December 2024. Just wanted to bring your attention to the fact that all year long, we started the year with a very healthy bank balance, and we were able to maintain that all year long, not going below $30,000 all year. And I really, give thanks during this time of transition. The next document is the income and expense report for 2024. Just a highlight that our income was level with 2023. We pay our apportionment to the diocese in full. We had a start to the capital campaign for our windows in 2024. And we did have some unforecasted expenses, and I have some details in the next few slides to explain that. This pie chart is in the narrative budget document. This highlights a little bit of a few things. The offerings is the largest source of our income at 64%. The outreach, which is, it's hard to read, 18%, is really a flow through. What comes in for outreach, a check is written and goes out. An example is Somerset Recovery. We have a relationship with them. They operate out of St. Thomas, or maybe, yes. And they don't have charitable status yet. So we are their sister organization. If someone wants to donate to their program, they can write the check to St. Aidan's, and we write the check outreach directly back to them. So there are examples of that, but it's also examples of our honey. Our total income is listed there, $408,500. In overview, our outreach for honey sales, $15,000 donated to Luso. Total expenses was a little bit more than our income, and I've highlighted some areas that were unforecasted that add up to those higher expenses. We removed some dead trees. You know, we love to be near the bog, but some of those big trees could cause a lot of damage. So, and they have to be carefully put down by experts. The women's washrooms got an update with some new toilets, and we didn't pay for labor, so thank you, Peter.
Don't ask me.
We've got this great bike parking as well. And income on some Ontario some security grants. We did receive Ontario grant money in 2023, and because of our budget format, we spent it in 2024. So that also elevates our expense line in 2024. So I now move to adopt the financial statements as presented and approved by Parish Council for 2024. They are the balance sheet and the income and expense statement. Seconded by?
Is there a seconder? Any questions on the report? Discussion on the report? Seeing none? By a show of hands, support of the report? Thank you. Against? Carried.
Looking forward to 2025. We've prepared our budget based on our new full-time rector and quarter-time archdeacon wages. We're also taking care of our paid staff with an increase in their wages. We do have good steady income from the use of the building. Our Full Gospel Church is here. We have a program on Friday evening. Selena thankfully takes care of all of our rentals, whether they're one-offs or regular rentals. And as a tradition, make things almost level out, we are asking, if you're able, for a 4% increase in your offerings.
Did you say the wage? That's the wage, right?
I got the wage, 4% increase in wages.
If you guys look at the budget, just like we've talked about in years past here, almost all of our expense on increase is for people. That's what we're paying for. It's hard to mine down on this budget and try to, you know, to make political talk about cutting fat, because there isn't any. It's the people of this. It's the people that we hire to do the work here that we pay for. So the diocese has asked for a 4.1. It was approved by diocesan council actually, a 4.1% increase in their salaries, which we've gone ahead and done already. So that is what we're bringing to you guys today.
And the last thing on 2025 is this will be the last time you hear me talk about the federal grant for our new windows. I've been talking about that a long time, and the paperwork is in. Can I just take a pause? Stefan, come in and say hello to the community, please. Yeah. This is Stefan, who does our street ministry and takes our baked goods to the people in need. Thank you so much. I'm glad I saw you out there. Thanks so much. So final paperwork is in to see that federal grant come to us directly into our bank account. I applied for a second provincial grant. They invited me to apply for one, and I thought, okay. It was easy, and the money's in our bank account, $7,500. It'll be brought to Parish Council as to our work on that. There are some guidelines. It has to be for security. Right now, we're floating the idea of refurbishing our front door. Just highlights here. You have it in the document there. Income is projected at $436,000. Expenses projected to be $444,000. This does include an internal transfer from our operating account to our capital. That has also been something we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. just to be mindful that there may be big expenses that we need to be prepared for, at least have some seed money for. So I move to adopt the 2025 annual budget as approved by Parish Council, seconded by any questions or comments on that?
What about the income from,
Oh, we're getting to that. Look at this. Oh, it's covered up.
It goes with it, yeah, we'll get to do the business of the budget first.
Pardon me? We'll get the business.
We've already got it on the floor, so.
Seeing none, show of hands to approve the budget. Any opposed? Thank you. We have this endowment fund. Do you want to do the windows next? I can back up.
No, that's okay, what are you doing? Oh, the endowment fund, yes, let's
Yes.
do that, yeah.
Do you want to talk about
Sure,
it
yeah.
before we have the statement up?
Yeah. So like a year ago now, I got this email from VJ at the London Community Foundation Endowment Fund saying that we have an account there. I'm looking for Jen. So, where'd it go?
Oh.
So this was started a number of years ago by the Southern family, the Bourne family, and the O'Neills. Some of you will remember them. We remember Bob Southern and Charlotte's here today. And I'm not sure, I think that was everybody in that group. Correct me if I'm wrong, Charlotte, but I think that was everybody. It was originally started with this seed money and has since grown to $36,000 as of the end of December. So this is a fund that, would you want to speak? It's something that we can use as a legacy fund at St. Aidan's, or just contributions can be made to it. The idea is that when we hit $50,000, the fund will begin to pay out interest to us for operations here at St. Aidan's. So it kind of goes towards what I think is our biggest looming issue, which is going to be sustainability in the church. And the more that grows, the more interest we're going to receive out of it. It's not related to the diocese. I asked Jennifer to come and speak to it. Jennifer has recently been hired by the London Community Foundation. Just by pure happenstance, I received this. And I think it was like a month later, I received this picture of Jennifer saying, she's now employed at the Anyway, so this is how things seem to work here at St. Aidan's. Jennifer, would you mind? I put her on the spot. We didn't plan on it, but I saw you sitting there. If you don't, could you just give a little explainer maybe on the fund?
So the London Community Foundation is a nonprofit community foundation. It's a registered charity. And people, families, charitable organizations can open funds that are held and administered by the foundation. The foundation itself was set up by an endowment. So, for instance, me, I'm paid through the endowment. So I'm not paid through the money that people give to the foundation. So the foundation does have to charge some fees because of the banks and everybody charges us fees and CRA and audits and stuff like that. But the fees are between 1 and 1.5%, so very reasonable for that purpose. I don't know, about a dozen years ago, several churches, including the cathedral, decided to open funds with the idea of creating sustainable, independent funding for each of the churches that opened the fund. And certain families donated very, very generously. You can put any amount in the fund, so you can make a donation of $10, whatever you would like. If you'd like to commit to the fund, you do get a charitable tax receipt back. And to Peter's point, once our fund hits $50,000, every year, whatever interest or revenue or dividends is gained on that money comes back to the church. And we can choose then either to re-endow it or to put it in a capital fund or use it for a project or whatever we like to do. Now, it's one of those things, right, that we all know when we think of pensions and things like that, that as we put more money in it, and each year it will gain more money, it's like planting a tree. And in 20 years' time, this will become a fund which will actually substantially help to support our church and to keep our ministry and our outreach or whatever we choose to do going. Based on the small amounts of seed money we've already grown, but if this is something that speaks to you and everybody likes to give differently and do different things, this is a nice addition to your offertory immediate donations, in that it provides that sort of long-term pension for our church.
Thanks, Jennifer. That's great.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jennifer. It's another option that we found, but it's kind of interesting to me. It's away from the trusts of the diocese. So it's the trustees on this are the wardens, named wardens of St. Aidan's and the priests of St. Aidan's. So it's guided ultimately by us, but these guys do the financials. So responsibility is on the church always. Just an option.
Just to bring visibility for the community. And now we have some presentation on the new windows and doors. What? They're paid for!
Colleen was meant to wait until I came over.
I know, man. Whoa! I didn't plan that well at all. I'm just overexcited here. Right? Aren't we going to see, we've already felt the benefits of how much warmer it is in here, and it is going to reduce our environmental footprint. So we didn't take a loan out. We had generosity from the community and money in the bank, and the business that we went with, Provincial Glass, did a fabulous job working in one of the coldest weeks of the year, but everything went according to plan once they got started, and they wanted to be paid, so we paid them.
The money for paying them came from this, as always, has come from this community, both in that campaign that we started back in January. We raised over $31,000 came in, and then we had the money that was sitting in capital that we have, that capital stewardship we talked about earlier. We've been putting money into that capital stewardship fund, much to the chagrin of Gary and Colleen, in its structure, not in its principle, but in its structure, because it's a deficit and an asset, which pisses everybody off because it goes in and comes right back out again, whatever. But whatever, we're able to save money by doing that. So that between that money and then the expected return on the grant and HST returns and all the other stuff we're able to get, there's no sense in continuing to push like that. I think we've, this community responded when it was asked, and we've paid them off, which will also affects our budget. It puts that deficit budget that we're looking at technically back into the black with the payment of those windows. So it's actually not a deficit budget. It's hard to explain in the church because by the time we wrote the budget, then we'd already, then we'd pay the window, then we have the meeting to talk about it also. So that's kind of it. I want you to know that on the windows. If you would like to continue to give to capital or planned on giving for the windows campaign, it'll always be received well here, because now we have the mission of recuperating or replenishing our capital fund. I think saving in advance was useful because it takes the stress off a lot of us. We have forms up here for pre-authorized giving, and I found out at council that some of you are doing this, and we're capable of doing it. If you'd like to give directly designated givings to capital or anything else, you could also do that through PAG. For those of you that are more regimented in your expenses and would like a monthly withdrawal, then that's a possibility. I didn't know that. I don't know if you guys knew that either, but so on PAG you can designate givings if you so choose. So that's a win. It's a big win for this community. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'd just like to thank Colleen. I know that she spearheaded a whole lot of stuff for the grants and that, and I don't know how many hours you put into that, but it's not easy working with that big bureaucracy. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I kind of made a friend with that federal government. I mean, a person who was monitoring me and Zoom calls and that sort of thing. And it comes back to the fact that you know, the things I did in my previous life bring me to a place where I can do that for this community, and it's really fun to have something interesting and engaging in to do. But thank you for commenting. So I just have a couple slides about parish leadership when we'll get to the new slate for parish council. We'll have some images Mary Joan thought she might want to see. Oh, how about that jersey? Or that ball shirt, Mary Joan. Anyway. We have Rob Henderson starting 1st of April, and he will lead us through, you know, from there on, but Holy Week and Easter, and the Venerable Amanda Longmore, who will start with us the 1st of May, and quarter time here, the rest of her time as Territorial Archdeacon, partnership ministry that they will work out, and we will work with them to determine where their gifts and their time is best suited to serve our community. We give thanks. Parish council time, this time of year, we often have a change, and we give thanks to some people for their time on parish council.
Thanks, Colleen. I just want to take some time to thank Gary. It's all good. And reflect on some of the duties that he's had. I actually really enjoyed looking back and thinking back to our COVID days, which seems like 20 years ago, but really it wasn't that long ago. And you've probably forgotten, we used to sit on the hard wooden pews. And back during COVID days, you had to register like it was a restaurant. You know, you had to book in a certain time and only a certain number of people could come. And then as wardens, we would have to put up all the name tags and make sure they're properly spaced on all the pews. And then we had to escort you down the aisle and have you sit. And then afterwards, we had our little buckets of sanitizer. And after everybody left, we took down the paper and we had to clean everything. Yeah, that's right. So that seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. And Gary's very instrumental in doing all of that. He also, for our outdoor services during COVID, he would build the fires, come early and build the fires. So thank you for doing that, Gary. He has also vacuumed the church and the narthex. He's changed numerous light bulbs inside and outside the church. And in fact, just a while ago, he and Pat Ferguson got up on a ladder to change the light bulbs on that cross. Oh. It wasn't a ladder, it was fine. But there were like 27 light bulbs or something. And Gary sent me this text about it. I thought, I don't even want to envision either one of them up there doing that. It mortified me. So that's why the light bulbs are fine now. It's nice to know sometimes the stories behind what's going on. So that's one of these stories. He's cleaned out the lights filled with the flies, and I think we need to do it again. He's painted and repainted our rainbow doors outside. Yeah. In fact, when they were graffitied, he flipped them over. Mm-hmm. He took care of that. He helped build the bike shelter. Mm-hmm. He helped dig for the Ethernet cable from the house to the church, which was, I know it was a really hot day when everybody did that. I think Peter and Rob did that as well.
And Gulka.
Oh yeah.
We just go kill them.
Yeah, I heard there was a little gathering
He's still
after.
complaining about it.
I did hear you had some fun afterwards with adult beverages. I remember hearing that. He's worked with the bees and he's jarred honey. He's attended numerous meetings that went late into the night or were at spur of the moment where we had to meet. Thank you, Nancy, for your patience and support during all those times. I know there were text messages sometimes saying, Gary, where are you? It's been 2 extra hours. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. Or it's Gary's like, I got to go to a meeting tomorrow and plans have to change. So thank you for your support, Nancy, for that. Gary's balanced budgets. He's done deposits. He's helped out our digital deacon when Ian wasn't available. I could go on and on at all the things he's done. He's had his hand in. He's done so much. He's done all of this with kindness, love, and dedication. He is loved by our St. Aidan's community, and we thank you, Gary, for all you've done, and I'm sure you'll continue to have your hand and heart in the activities. Yes. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It's all done with a lot of joy, and I really appreciate, you know, climbing ladders with Pat and whatever it was. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Gary. Somebody else who's leaving our council is Mary Joan Vallis. Mary Joan, could you come up a sec? So Mary Joan has served the church for over 100 years.
She said 100.
So for at least 60 of those years, Mary Joan was in a choir at Bishop Cronin. She's been a warden 3 times. She has been a synod delegate for Bishop Cronin and for St. Aidan's, and served on the synod organizing committee and diocesan council. So Mary Joan has done the yeoman's work of this church for a very long time and very faithfully. And it ends with me giving her a bunch of flowers and thanking her on behalf of the
Parish
council here at St. Aidan's, and I'll extend that to the Diocese of Huron, Mary Joan. I don't think you'll be the same without you. We're going to miss you.
Yeah. She's not leaving the church. She's just leaving council.
Mary Joan has been a sage and also a very funny voice on campus.
In your package of the annual Vestry report, there is the list of nominations, page 12, if you wanted to. I hope that you take all those home and this home and you have the new list. Yes.
Number of wardens.
By canon, there are 2 wardens of the church, and there are 2 deputies. So for the last number of years under Kevin especially, we ran with 2 deputies and 2 wardens, of course. When I first arrived at St. Aidan's, even prior to Kevin, there was 2 wardens and 1 deputy at that time. So we're very flexible on deputies. I'm at the end of my term. Gary has just termed out. We applied prior to the selection committee process when we knew that Kevin was leaving for Donna and Colleen. We can do that through canon law by the bishop. He's able to grant an extension, so he gave 2 years. But that means they're also timing out in this last year. So the plan that we have is that when these new priests start in a month, we'll have them. We'll see, you know, there's a certain amount of dust settling that occurs when somebody leaves, and then they'll have a good picture of maybe who they would like to bring on as a deputy. That doesn't have to be done at a vestry. A deputy warden by canon can be appointed at any time. Doug, did you have comment or question?
Yeah, just further to that, typically one warden is elected. That's the people's warden, and the other warden is appointed, and that's typically the rector's warden. Not having a rector, it kind of makes a lot of sense in what they're talking about here. So just wanted to pitch that up.
I appreciate the question, Dan. That clears it. I hope that clears it up. If it doesn't, I'm happy to answer further. But that's what we plan on doing work-wise. And then that person, you know, will, as we said on council, we have a lot of wardens that stay on church council and that are active in the community, and they have always been good assets for myself when I became a warden. And nobody's left out in the cold here, so, okay?
I do have one more question, and that would be on the lay delegates to synod. Is it open for other nominations? I didn't get this package until today. I had no chance to read it beforehand. If so, I have someone I would.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So the synod delegates are set by the number of people in the parish, right, June?
Yeah.
So as we hit different thresholds, we get another delegate. So council has chosen these folks here at this time to represent us at synod. That's the slate that's there.
But are they not nominated to
Beg your pardon?
They should be nominated positions and then elected.
Yes, these are nominated positions.
If there is a further nomination, it could be made.
It could be, yes. Yes, this is the, so we went to council with these names. Council put this as a slate. So yes, I guess technically you can make a nomination to make a change there.
I wish to make a nomination.
Let's have, oh, do we not have a motion first, or?
For nominations.
For nomination.
Floor nomination, sure.
You usually have a motion to open nominations and a seconder for that. So if somebody could say, I move the nominations be open now that you've seen the slate and the seconder.
I'll make the motion that we open nominations for late delegates to synod. Is that correct?
Yep. Dan Robinson makes a motion.
Is there a seconder for that?
AJ.
Currently,
The lay delegates to Synod are Morgan Sherlock, Pam Townsend, and this year Jennifer Cahill. Alternates are Rob Stevenson and Sandy Burns. So what was your what was the motion?
Open nominations.
Open nominations. Okay. Okay.
bring up lay alternates.
Yep.
There may be others also that wish to put forth names. I wish to put forth the name of Kara Robinson.
For the position of delegate.
Position of late delegate to synod.
Okay.
You still can only have 3 lay delegates, so there's going to have to be an election. Just to remind everybody.
Is there any other nominations for Synod, delegate to Synod? Oh, did we get it? We need a second round. Yes, sorry.
No, we did.
Nancy Dobbin seconds the
motion?
The addition of Kara Robinson.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so seeing none, we will close the nominations for lay delegate to Synod. I'm just gonna I got one quick question because I don't know if the lay delegates, the alternates included in the mix. No, because they've assigned them.
Well, I don't know what you've done. So if you've assigned alternate lay delegates, usually what happens is you elect lay delegates and the ones that are not elected as lay delegates become alternates. But I don't know, it sounds like you have a separate.
We normally do it separately because
Then I would say, continue what you've been doing. If this is how you've done it, then this is how you've done it.
Okay.
So when you elect, then the person who's not part of it is not anything involved in that.
Okay. Okay. So now we have that. We can set that aside, and we can. Did you move to?
Not yet.
So we can move to approve the nomination report to Vestry as approved by council, with the exception of the lay delegates to Synod.
And I move that. You can see the list. It's alternates are Rob Stevenson, Sandy Burns. 3 wardens, Peter Anderson, Colleen Haggerty, and Donna Stevenson. And the parish council, Dan Robinson, Heather McCallum, Pat Ferguson, Rick Gibson, Ron Gulka, Tricia Lister, and Wendy Kilgour.
Can I get a seconder? Barney Anderson. Okay, for the motion to approve the nomination report as approved by council with the exception of the lay delegates to Synod, by a show of hands. Thank you. Against? None. That's carried. Thank you. So we will move to an election of the lay delegates to Synod. You're going to need to give me a minute to produce some ballots. Oh yeah, and scrutineers.
They're going to need probably a couple of scrutineers, people who can count ballots.
Do you have enough?
I need a box. You get a ballot box?
There's a box there. With a lid? That one?
We don't need a lid on it. We just need a box.
Can we use that one there? That one? Can we use that? Can you take this out? Yeah. Yeah, use that. Yeah, just use that, Colleen.
Three delegates you'd like.
I was going to say the person who doesn't become lay delegate, but actually become an alternate. But you do want to
Well, actually, that would make more sense.
yeah. Because you have 3 and 3 to cover. Because if this lay delegate can resist their delegate, they can't cover any other lay delegates. So then what happens
The three
is.
names that you would like to serve as lay delegate.
Yes.
It's this list plus Kara. Remind me, Leslie Robinson.
Okay.
I can type that in.
Before you fill out those ballots, just get a ballot, and then we'll have a talk. And then, because there'll be questions.
Did we get ballots?
We need more.
I really like this notebook, Doug. It's like my favorite notebook. You know what I should have done? I should have had them rip the Vestry report and circle the name.
So I have one of these. So I have one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I thought you liked the green.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's good for you. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Jennifer. I always forget how to spell her name. Pardon? P-H-E-R, is it?
No, C-A.
No, but her last name. She's the way she's supposed to name Jennifer.
Oh, you mean?
Oh, wait, it's Jennifer.
I always get the last name right, but it's the front. I did it right. Is that big enough font? I know. I got it back. I got it back.
I wonder where you just. I thought he was just going to throw them in there.
We don't vote?
Yeah.
We
vote.
We
We vote.
Doug.
We get.
Do we get to vote? We don't?
You're up at the adult table.
Yeah,
the kids' table.
That's just the kids' table.
He's still one paper
Just break
short.
it in half. Just break it in half. Make it harder to.
You got it. I just ripped it in half.
Thank you.
And Peter needs one.
Uh-oh.
What are we doing?
Is this a rank? Is this a rank ballot? I've got 3.
Sorry, right.
So we've got
So just put 3 down. Yes.
Okay, if we only put 2 names down on the ballot. Peter said he'd address all questions in a minute.
Yeah. 3 names.
I'm going to be late for bed. Oh, no, it time's bad. I need to do some Don't put your ballot in. Don't secret ballot.
Are you putting it in?
Oh, yeah,
Putting
you
yours
put
in?
it in, right?
Uh-oh.
Don't look.
He doesn't want us to. He doesn't want us to vote yet.
You need a pen?
I got to run downstairs. I'll be right back.
So who's gonna count?
So people are voting already? Okay.
Yeah, well,
I don't think anybody's took scrutineers yet, right?
no.
Okay.
Once all the ballots are in, I'm gonna ask for 2 scrutineers to count them.
Okay. So the first, the change we're going to make, that was requested that we make, was to the lay delegates to synod, not to the alternates. So the alternates are going to stay where they are, and the ballot will be between the lay delegates, which are Jennifer Cahill. Jennifer, could you guys come to the front so we can see who you are?
Pam's in,
Jennifer Cahill.
Away, yeah.
I'm trying to do this in alphabetical order. Pam Townsend.
Yeah.
Kara Robinson. And Morgan Sherlock. Pam Townsend, I think we all know Pam. Pam is not here today. She's on holiday. Okay? So these are the positions we're going to elect. There are 3 to elect. So please put 3 of those names onto a ballot, or whatever you want, into the box. And then we will look for scrutineers. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No, we're going to leave the alternates as they are, Jim. There will not be 3 alternates because these are positions of council as well, right? So when you're making this vote, this is not just to send somebody to synod. This is a position on council.
To a point of order, should we not open up the floor to nominations for council members?
We did that in accepting of the nominations from council.
You didn't open it up. To a point of order, it should be open to the floor to take the nomination.
The reason we've done it this way, Jim, is because it's a slate that's approved by council. We normally run this as a slate so that we have like people in position, so when we go forward, we know who's who.
But there could be still further additions, even though the slate has been accepted or has been accepted as a nomination.
Yes. Yes.
And it should then still be all opened up to the floor, and that any further nominations will then close.
Right. Right. It's an election through council though, Jim. It's not like it's not appointed, it's an election through council. Council voted on this on whatever night we met on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If we only put 2 names down on the ballot, it's our ballot choice.
No. No. Okay. Yes, Ann?
I would like to make the motion that whoever doesn't get voted out of those 3 names, that they do go on council as a 3rd alternate lay delegate.
We can't have as a 3rd lay delegate, yeah.
As a 3rd alternate. So you have 3 delegates and 3 alternates. So you're not knocking anybody off parish council.
And that's usually what happens, is that you have a slate of lay delegates, and then the person who doesn't make it, they become the alternates. 3 alternates is a good idea. I'll tell you why. It's because once you have an alternate lay delegate fill in for a lay delegate, they cannot fill in for anybody else. They become a lay delegate. And that happened in my former parish. So one of our lay delegates cannot make a diocesan function, so an alternate filled in for that person, and therefore then we only had 1 alternate lay delegate. Because the lay delegate, this is complicated, the lay delegate could not go anymore because the alternate became the lay delegate.
Once you can't,
Yeah.
once you can't attend one thing.
That's right. Once you can't attend one thing, then you are off. And so the alternate became the lay delegate, and that left less lay delegate alternates. So, and I don't know what your parish council or how you function with that, but that's usually the process, is an alternate to cover a lay, just because of situations like that do come up. So it's possible, unless you're trying to keep the slate of officers in the parish council to a certain size, the person who doesn't become lay delegate could understandably become alternate. And I don't think you need a motion for that. You could just do it. Really, you know.
Okay.
They're already elected in, so.
Right? Have another person.
Just an additional council.
It's just another city council.
Yeah.
And not everybody comes at the same time.
So Anne's advice question is, does the unelected, what is your advice, Anne? The unelected person would become a make-up part of council. The alternate would become a third alternate, making them a part of council.
I don't see any problem.
I don't think we have any, I don't think there's any issue with that.
No.
I feel that if somebody wants to serve in these days, we don't turn them away.
No.
Absolutely.
Well, anytime you have to elect, I always think it's a good thing because it means people really want to be there. So you don't want to discourage anybody from doing that.
Okay, so knowing that, that's how we'll go forward. So we'll need scrutineers, we'll need 2 scrutineers to count the ballot. Karen, would you be willing to do it? And Heather, Callum? Are you on something, Heather?
Oh, I'm on council.
You're on council. Is there somebody else? Yes.
Usually you open up
Okay.
for everything.
There's a scrutineers.
And then you just go by any.
So has everyone had a chance to fill out a ballot? Have you had a chance to do a ballot?
Thanks, yeah.
The ballots are in. So the election is now closed, and we will count the ballots.
This is coming up for scrutiny.
Yeah, and Karen.
You always take that way, don't like just do this. And then it just. Not this time. So what we usually do for future reference is that you just open everything, and then you go bit by bit, except for this. You don't open cuts. And actually, wardens, the 2 appointed, and then the deputy, you need because that's just in case.
Yeah.
But you have to.
But we have deputies. Like
You do.
Right.
Most people do now. It's
Yeah.
really hard in some parishes to get even wardens, but deputy wardens have no power unless they in on it themselves. So
We're inside.
I have no power.
you have no power.
No power.
You have no accountability.
Yeah, I know.
How's that? Yeah, you have tons of power. No accountability.
That's right. That's okay.
So if the buildings are the warden's responsibility, period.
Yeah.
So who's going to be
No, but the.
well, we're saying 3 wardens, but really
I know, but
there's only 2.
it's 2.
No, you are, because you signed.
Oh, I did the.
You and I signed for the
That's right.
intent.
That's true.
So you and I were the real wardens, and they were the. Yeah.
So this is gonna happen when the new clergy come in. Yeah, so then he can appoint his own. Yes, yeah. And the bishops. Yeah, he'll appoint his representative. So this was already gone by Todd and everything from what I hear.
Yes.
So that's not great. This one is interesting because really alternates are usually the ones who don't make the lay ballot. So you don't usually pick separate alternates. In most parishes, but you apparently do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Kayla say about that. So, you know, ultimately delegates to synod are important. And then parish council usually leave that open. That's the only one that you really didn't leave open. And he did it so quickly. I was going to step in, and I thought, well, no, because it already sounds a bit confusing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what you did.
Are you supposed to be doing that?
This is mine.
Yeah, I'm allowed to do it.
So, I mean, if this is how you did it already, I didn't want to step in and say anything, which I probably should have. But you're not really breaking any laws. You should make it some disgruntled people. You know, that's all. And there's somebody back there disgruntled. But just tell me, just say it's my fault because I didn't step in and say no. Oh no. Have the election. I think I'm just here to stop a fight. You guys are doing cheering all on your own. And I'm thinking, well, I guess Todd wanted me to be here. And I'm like you didn't really need it. I mean, St. George's, when I went there the Sunday after they had their vestry, and they had no clergy there, they had their vestry. Well, they had Patsy, she's a deacon, but she didn't chair the meeting. So I'm thinking, the wardens chaired the meeting, and I thought, someone Todd said chair the meeting, I thought, oh, well, maybe, but you guys are very self-motivated. Now, the only thing is that Anne knows her cannons because she's so angry. Right? But, yeah, I mean, and we've been through that. She was my assistant at Ascension, and we've been through that at Ascension where we had to go through this delegate thing a few times, and so she was part of that when that happened. So she's really aware. But I thought, well, really, and you know what else it is? It stops having bad feelings too, because if somebody really wants to be a lead delegate, you've already picked alternates. And then, like, sorry, you're not going to be able. It's really kind of like,
yes, exactly.
You know, not popular.
I don't know.
That's really so. That's the only thing about this is that now people might complain about the parish council. So, like I said, you always just like appointed this. But I think at a stage in this parish's life with the new bureau coming in and that people may want to be part of the council, so that may lean on people like this that will do stuff. So because different people rise up in leadership positions according to your code, and so you had people who rose up and having this there, and then it's kind of like how the status quo with Jordan, and now you're going to have people who are going to be more interested in that, and Robin and Andrew are very different than what you've had.
But we did like
which is great.
Yeah.
So these things are great. Yeah. Frankly, I would rather just trying to get people on, in this day and age. So, I mean, when I started St. Jude's, then a month later they had the vestry, and it went really good because they knew. And then with the new incumbent coming in, I talked to 2 wardens of the state. The 4 wardens, well, they were really good. But they were excited to be with the new incumbent, right? So they were okay, and you can show them the ropes. And actually, they're such a good group. We meet for lunch still. So it was 4 women. So listen, I go there and they have a breakfast club, and they're like, here, everybody's doing that. And then so anyway, they have to meet with them. So they meet with them. And the wardens are very reflective, listening and stuff like that. And then I realized 2 are nurses, one's a PR person, the other one's a former principal. So I'm thinking they're all like, they got that stuff. So then I get the and all these women. There's no men in this whole big meeting. So I get the minutes from the meeting that the deputy warden wrote. And it was all like, we really respect your ministry, and we're so lucky to have you here. You're such a gift of people, and they're going on like talking like this. And then all of a sudden, and a heart emoji, and another heart emoji. And so now I know. So I'm standing there, and I said, I'm going to tell you, it's the first time I've been to a meeting where I got the minutes, and they had heart emojis. And Dan goes, oh, that was me. And then the late delegate, this guy said, I've never had that. And I said, well, you need to start coming to these meetings. Yeah, you do. So when they sent me my final letter, they sent me my good farewell letter. The but they should be she needs the elevator, is that yeah, she needs the elevator. This thing's still. Just must be me. It's not, you're not you, right?
To be out of bed or to get back up on bed.
But you can tell this. Some parishes couldn't go without children. A lot of this is a very self-motivated. I have to say St. John's is the same. They could have gone with that many chairs. People are just very, again, there's strong lay leadership. And I don't mean like control. I mean leadership. It's, you can write. Did you do your job, madam?
You know I went through too much.
I know. As soon as she stood up for scrutineer, I said, "Oh, she's taking charge here." Too many times.
Where did Colleen go, Donna?
She was there when her son was
she's
the
left?
first child baptized in the parish.
Yeah.
Now we feel very old.
She just said, tell her to have to go. She's done, right? She's done everything.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. The scrutineers have done their job. We will I'll look for a motion to destroy the ballots. Oh, you want to hear the vote first?
They have to.
Good point.
The vote comes first.
The three synod delegates to synod will be Morgan Sherlock, Jennifer Cahill, and Kara Robinson. Pam will be on the council.
And Donna Stevenson will be alternate. And will Donna Stevenson? No, somebody who's the alternate. Pam would be the alternate.
Will be the third alternate. Yeah.
Okay, make that in.
Yeah. Pam will make up the third alternate to synod. Okay. Okay. Now the motion to destroy the ballots. Karen Ferguson. Second.
Can we ask Selena to shred them or whatever?
Yep.
Shred them.
Susan Beckett. And it was Susan Beckett. And Karen Ferguson. There's to destroy was Karen Ferguson. Yeah. Douglas and Hodge. Yeah. Yeah.
So that you're done.
Do we have? Do we want to open up nominations? We don't want to do this again.
You want to open this up?
No. We didn't get it open. No. Okay.
We're moving on, right? We're done.
I think you're done.
Yeah.
So thank you to all the people who put their names forward for your parish council in the coming year. With Rob and Amanda coming in, you'll be a great help guiding them and helping them navigate through this parish, which is actually very well laid. I said Todd wanted me to be here to chair, but really, maybe he thought there'd be a fight. I don't know. Then I could break it up. But other than that, you can tell parishes that have very strong, positive lay leadership because, everybody just takes charge and moves forward in a healthy way. So those of you who accepted the parish council, I hope that you've got your work cut out for you in the year ahead. You know that you're going to be developing a new ministry that the diocese is looking at. So this is exciting for you, and it's exciting for the diocese to see how this goes. In the past, archdeacons used to be in large parishes, and they had staff, which included an assistant curate most times. And then if the rector became archdeacon, the assistant curate and any other honorary assistants who were there could step in and fill the breach. Because of financial situations, we don't do this anymore, and we've been putting people in the position of archdeacon, and when they're in charge of a parish, and it really takes time away. Ann Jakrin was my assistant when I was archdeacon at Ascension, and so she knows, like Ann had to carry the ball sometimes, and does it very well, by the way. But it would have been good to have somebody like an assistant curate or something to step in. And they've been struggling with that. Then they decided to get retired clergy to be archdeacons. Honestly, I like this, but do I want to be a retired archdeacon? Some people might.
I say, I don't want to die on the job. And so now they're looking at this as a way to navigate the financial situation, provide us with the leadership of archdeacons. So I'm eager to see how your parish progresses with that, and I suspect you will do it very well. Just from the getting to know people from St. Aidan's and from today and everything and times I've been here, I think you will navigate it better than you probably ever imagined. You're that kind of people. You're very strong, you're faithful, and you have a sense of Christian witness. And those things all count. So anyway, blessings on the time ahead. I would like a motion to adjourn.
Can I just make one thing before? Just as if I could have a moment to just thank to enter into the vestry. This was a special year at St. Aidan's because we had a selection committee running for most of this year. So I just want to recognize the work of Pam Townsend and that committee and extend our thanks to them for all the hard work that was done there to secure us the future at St. Aidan's. So I want to thank them. Thank you.
Okay, so you're adjourned back to back?
I just want to make sure that we take the time to thank Ian. I think some of us, when we get sick, we would miss the service, but Ian wasn't doing it, and we're so grateful.
Lovely.
Okay, in that spirit, I'm going to thank Selena. Selena comes back and says, I missed you, boss. And I said, boss, nobody missed you. Nobody has missed you more than we have. You have not missed us more than we have missed you. I can tell you that. And that's the truth. Selena is a big part of how everything works here. So thank you to Selena. Yeah.
Any other notes of thanks? No? Can we stand and say the grace? The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all evermore. Amen. Go home.
Out of the parking lot.
Yeah, good luck.
Gary, Donna, did you guys get your name on this?
No, I didn't. I have to sign it.
I didn't want to throw a wrench in it.
No.
But I would like to make, no, not about that.
Oh.
For the point
What's that?
about
Yeah.
the decision.